Ladies and gentlemen and knife enthusiasts the internet over, I finally did it. I joined the BudK Knife of the Month Club, where every single month I'll get a knife at $10 a piece. I have no idea what it's gonna be. It could be crap, or maybe it'll be a diamond in the rough. Let's find out together.
Join me in this review series. This is JJ Jinx Truck Stop Dives!
Episode 1, The Contender Avion. Retail, $24.99. Okay, here we go. So the story behind this knife is, after I finished up doing my weekly series, I sort of had to face the prospect of going back to my regular EDC knife, which before I did that series was a Kershaw Cryo, and I had been carrying these knives weekly for something like 2.5 months or so, and I really enjoyed it. The variety and something to look forward to at the end of the week and the beginning of the next one. And I wanted to keep doing it, but a new knife every week, even if it's only $10-15, that adds up. So I decided that now I finally have a great excuse to join the BudK Knife of the Month Club, and so I did. Of course, I had to go for the lowest friggin' tier, which is $10 a month plus shipping. And so I got this knife a month ago, and I've been carrying it ever since. My weekly series will still be airing. I have a bunch of them already pre-recorded, and so this is going to be concurrent. Well, here's the knife. This is made by a company called Contender, as you know, and it is an 8-inch long knife. It's about 20 centimeters. It has a trailing point blade. It swoops up towards the end, and it rides on bearings. Handle is 4.5 inches, 12 centimeters long. I'm not sure how much it weighs. I couldn't find that information, and I was too lazy to drop it onto a scale, but I would estimate it's somewhere around 4 ounces. The steel is 8CR18 MOV, which is pretty similar to AUS 8. However, you can get this knife in D2 steel for $47, also from BudK. Now, the scales are kind of interesting. You sort of have a 2-stage scale going on. You got stonewashed steel with these skeletonized G10 scales kind of on top of it. And it is a frame lock, and the clip is a high ride, tip up only clip. A couple of other observations. Obviously, you could see it's got anodized blue hardware. There is a lanyard loop here with some kind of unusual looking jimping, but I kind of like that. It gives this knife a little character. I suppose it also acts as a spacer, so there's that. And it also has a thumb stud. Right hand oldie. Sorry, lefties. Now, let's talk about the things I like. First of all, the deployment is fantastic. This bearing system, which BudK advertises as some kind of advanced, great new thing. Well, it's bearings. I think we all know what that is. And it is super smooth. I had no problems at all with opening or closing this knife over the past month. I do like the look of the anodized hardware. Just be aware that you're going to get some wear and tear, and it's going to rub off that anodization in places. Personally, I think that is kind of cool. It kind of gives it a distressed look, and I'm okay with it. Now, as far as the scales go, they actually work pretty well. It sort of, because of the way they are stacked, it almost gives it a rounded sort of feel when you carry it. And the scales have knurling, which make it grippy enough. There's a little bit of jimping up here, and then whatever is going on down here. But that's about it as far as that goes, and it doesn't really need it. This is actually a really nice knife in the hand. The edge held really well. the whole time I used it, and I never really needed to sharpen it, even though it is a softer steel. The clip was... There was nothing wrong with the clip. It's pretty high up there, and it's got a good tension on it. It was tight, but not too tight. The lockup is actually one of the better things I think about this knife. Wait, watch how this locks up. Oh, that's perfect. Some of the things I did not like about it, well, that's gonna be tough for me because, to be honest, for 10 bucks, this is a real solid piece of work. So the only things I can really complain about are things that don't really matter so much, but here we go. So it's got a thumb stud, and you can deploy it with this thumb stud, but it is a little awkward, It sort of reminds me of how the CRKT CEO deploys, where you sort of have to be careful about how you do it, or you're not going to get the full deployment. The clip cannot be moved, but it is pretty neat how they got it in there. They sort of... There's not a lot of real estate up here on the G10 part of the scale, but they managed to fit it in there, and I don't see why they couldn't have done that on the other side as well, because people like to have options. I guess the only other things I can think of that people might not like about this knife is... I have no idea. I was so pleasantly surprised by this thing. I mean... There just aren't a lot of flaws in it. I'll bet if you were to erase this Contender logo and put CRKT or Boker or something like that, these would sell like hotcakes, and the whole internet would be talking about how awesome it is and you need to get one. That's sort of the quality that I would ascribe to this. It is a name brand knife at a premium price. So that being said, would I recommend this knife? If you can get it at the price I got it for, 10 bucks, absolutely. Is it worth the 20-something dollars? I think it actually kind of is. I don't know if I would buy it for that price because my goal is to go super inexpensive. So this was a real treat. So that is the Contender Avion. Contender. Sadly, the end of the month is here, and I got the next knife exactly a month later. So, as its final act, the Contender Avion will open its successor. Okay, I have no idea what's going to be in this box, but I will carry it. I don't care if it's a freaking machete. All right, and here we go. Oh my god. Now I feel like I got really lucky on that first one, because this is a fixed blade knife, which means I gotta carry it in this weird looking sheath. What have I gotten myself into? That's what I'll be carrying for the next month.